Hey guys, it's Doodle. So I went to the Vintage Bike Festival in Barber, Alabama. It was so much fun that I had to share it with you guys. So the way I found out about it the first time was I met some of the racers up in the mountains and they told me about it. Sounded awesome. I put it in my agenda planner months in advance. I booked an Airbnb and it's an all weekend thing. I had another event on that Saturday, so I was planning on coming in Saturday night because it's about 2 hours away from where I live, doing the whole festival on Sunday and then going home. But then more recently, I met the Ladyfingers ATL, who are a bunch of girls in Atlanta who ride. They were planning on being there pretty much the whole weekend, but leaving Sunday. So I moved some of my plans around and drove in Friday night with another one of the riders. I drove and she followed me from behind on her bike. I don't know what I would have done without these girls because I was thinking I would just drive up and wing it. You can't do that there. You need a parking pass in advance, which is like $40. Figure out which lot you want to be in. You need to get in, it costs $70 per person. And then there are all sorts of these activities, but you can't drive around to all these activities. You can get to all of them on your bike or you can take the trolley that they have there. I didn't know any of this until I got there. So luckily, one of the girls took me and the other girl that rode in. She kind of really hosted us that weekend. So she told us to meet her at a gas station outside of the festival and said that it was really complicated to get in and find the girls' campground to wait for her out there. We knew that she had ridden in on her bike, so we were like, how are you going to get to us and then bring us back if I can't bring my car in? She was like, don't worry, I'll find us a ride. And it's like 1 a.m. We're at this gas station. I see this old Triumph pull up with a sidecar next to it and this petite blonde girl in the sidecar waving crazy and really excited to see us. And she's like, this is Van. He's pretty close to our campsite. And he's like, yeah, I'm the Uber for the Ladyfingers of ATL. So I get in this sidecar with her. First time in a sidecar. It was pretty awesome. He went a little bit fast for us, late at night. No one else is around. So that was pretty fun. And so we get to the campground. Everyone's pretty much asleep. It's like in the middle of nowhere. So the stars are gorgeous. There's nothing but trees around that I can see. The same girl that picked us up in the sidecar, she negotiated with one of the guys there to switch tents with her because she had a 2-person tent. He had a 4-person tent by himself, and we're 3 girls, so she did that for us too. I got my sleeping pad and a blanket. We go to sleep, and the next day, I wake up to magic. It's like the sun is rising. There's a little bit of dew everywhere. I am surrounded by tents and bikes everywhere. I was like, where am I? This place is amazing. And pretty soon there were people like cooking breakfast. One guy was making Colombian coffee for everybody with like this camping heater thing. And one girl was making scrambled egg and potatoes for everybody. So I had a great breakfast and espresso the morning of when I woke up in a tent, which didn't expect that. I don't usually rough it like that. So that was a great morning. And then the rest of the day, the girl that originally hosted us, I'm not saying her name because these girls don't know I'm on YouTube, so I don't want to let them know that I am by asking them, hey, can I say your name or show your picture or whatever on YouTube? So I'm going to call her Hostess Girl since I haven't asked her about if she could be on here. Hostess Girl is like, okay, girls, okay, I'm going to take you all around Barber. We can check out the demo days, the races, the Globe of Death, and the Wall of Death. And I'm like, what are these death things? So we signed up for a demo ride. There was KTM, Harley, and BMW doing demo rides. We decided to all sign up together, and we did the BMW Demo Ride. I signed up for the BMW R NineT. A lot of you told me to try that bike, and I finally tried it. I'm really sorry. I was not expecting to motovlog, so I didn't have any recording equipment. But let me just tell you, it was a lot of fun. It was so fast, it was scary, but it's also not as smooth as my Triumph. So that was so much fun. And then the Wall of Death, I had no idea what to expect. No one explained anything about that, and I didn't ask. I was just ready to go. But this, I didn't even know this was possible. But they had men, like, old enough to be my grandpa, on bikes older than them, like old vintage Harleys and Indians. And they start riding them around this room, and then eventually get up on the wall, and they're riding these bikes at 90-degree angles. I didn't even know that was physically possible. That was amazing. And then, after that, we saw the Globe of Death, and that was people riding inside of a globe, like a hamster wheel. And then they were riding like inside of it and up and down and then like around like 90-degree angles and then upside down. Like, I was like, I didn't even know this was possible. And that was really cool. And that was all, everyone who was with the Globe of Death, it was a family from Brazil. And then one girl, I think from Russia, she was like an acrobat before and got into motorcycles and asked them to train her. So that was really cool too. And then we saw some racing, a bunch of vintage bikes racing. So it was all kinds of racing though. It wasn't just bikes, there was also a sidecar race. And there was a person in the sidecar that would, like, you would see them get out and then like either lie down on the ground, not on the ground, but or lean with the bike, like helping to like, who knows what they were doing, but I didn't know it existed, and it was awesome. Oh, something new I did. I rode, which the term that they called it, which is less derogatory, is cupcake. So I rode in the back of my dear hostess new friend's bike with her on her Harley Sportster. Everywhere we were going, I rode on the back of her bike. And in the morning, I rode on the back of a girl on her SV650. And then they were all leaving on Sunday, but I was still planning on being there for the rest of the Sunday because I had originally planned to do that with Cody. So I had the girls' day on Friday night and Saturday day, and then Cody joined me Saturday night. And we had the rest of the day Sunday, so I pretty much showed him all the same stuff because it was so cool. And then he and I went to the vintage museum there, which was not even hundreds, thousands of vintage bikes. And all kinds of bikes, like bikes that were made for like drag racing, bikes with sidecars, bikes from the turn of the century that were made from wood, bikes that were more like bicycles with an engine on it, bikes that had like in big because they were boasting like 5 or 7 horsepower. A ton of Triumphs. Triumph was huge at this event, I guess, because they're at least the only one that I know of, the only bike line that has an entire line modeled after vintage looks. Their classic line. So there were a ton of Triumphs there. There was even my Triumph Street Triple R at the museum. So that was really cool. I highly recommend to make it down there at least once in your life, wherever you are in the world. It's totally worth it. I hope I can make it back like every year. It was so much fun. Those girls made it even better. So, anyways, hope you'll make it down there too sometime. Maybe I'll see you. Thanks for watching. Bye.